Welcome back. It's a great pleasure to be joined once again by Hollie Doyle on the Luck on Sunday sofa. Hollie is very hard on herself. The other day I saw her coming out of the weighing room at Newmarket. She, God, I could use a few winners. I looked down thinking maybe she'd, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 this season. It is nearly 90 now, and she'll probably get to the 100 before she heads off to Hong Kong and ride a few more. You are quite hard on yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I probably always have been. I don't know, it's just the way I am, really.
And actually, 89 winners and counting at the moment. If I'd said to you at the beginning of the year, where do you think you'd be now, what would you have said?
Well over 100. But I mean, I know that there are people out there that would cut their right arm off to be in my position and to have what I've had or got. So I do, appreciate that. Yes, OK, so standards are extremely high. Tell me about Hong Kong and when you're going and why you're going. Yeah, I'm going on the 2nd of November. I've been to Japan for the last 3 years and it's been great, but the opportunity arose with Hong Kong and I just thought I need to grab it with both hands whilst, it's there. So for me, I suppose my window is November and December, and in Japan in November and December, it's being there in Tokyo on a Saturday is like trying to get a full book of rides at Royal Ascot. You're there with Ryan Moore, William Buick, Tom. So I think I probably should have been in Japan in January and February, really, to seek better opportunity for myself. So I just thought I'd give this a go. Obviously, going into Hong Kong, I know how cutthroat it is, and seeing David and Richard over there is quite daunting. But I love a challenge. And I love to push myself. So Dave and Richard, Maddie, you follow the Hong Kong scene very closely. Mm-hmm. It's been tough for them these first few weeks, and it's not just that, OK, you're expecting loads of winners, but also you look at the prices of the horses they're getting on. 100 to 1, 120 to 1, 80 to 1, 60 to 1. Just give me something with a chance. Yeah, I think the trouble is you've got the likes of Zach Purton and so many of the other sort of riders in behind him. They're so well established and they have their connections really made deeply. So in order to get a chance on a decent horse, someone else has got to come off it. And you've got to hustle as well. Yeah, and the trainers, it's very political. The trainers aren't going to want to necessarily do that. You've got a Derby-winning jockey and someone like David Probert, who's also incredibly qualified, but that almost doesn't matter when you go to Hong Kong. For you, I suppose the advantage is this is not something you're trying to hang your whole career on. It's an ad rather than a replacement. What are the challenges of riding somewhere like that you thrive on? I love the intensity and the pressures and the tightness of the tracks. I mean, you do have to make the difference. The horses, they're like robots. They're trained on the track. They know what they're doing. So it is ultimately down to the jockey to do the steering. It's so tight knit, the system. That it is ultimately down to the jockey, and like you say, if you don't have the horse underneath you, it is very hard to get the results you want. But you think there, for example, that a jockey would make more difference percentage-wise than you necessarily would here? Yeah, I think so, definitely. Yeah. Obviously, like I said, it does help to be on the right horse, but it's so technical and tight knit that one wrong move or one wrong decision, is the difference. Because it's so tight. So is it for you, right, I want to do the hardest thing I can actually do, the thing that's going to challenge me the most? Yeah, I've always been like that. I've always wanted to push myself. If I'm not feeling pressure to do better, I'd feel a bit, when things get not complacent, but kind of half relaxed, I feel like I need to do something else. So does that mean that when you come back, say you do a month in Japan or whatever, or you've been to ride in Hong Kong, whatever, when you come back, do you feel like everything's happening more slowly? The rate, yes. Even though we are doing a lot more, the workload is a lot more in England, but it's a lot more routine. It's, what you see is what you get, really, whereas over there you've got the kind of unknowns and a new system to figure out. Are you still enjoying the routine? Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, if I wasn't enjoying it, I probably would be, struggling like everyone else. If they were in, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I'm riding winners consistently. I have realised without those really good horses, it does make everything feel a lot, harder. But yeah, no, I love my job, and yeah. And you've also,
it's one of the other things, you get to nearly 100 winners without the sort of headline acts. In a sense, does that almost make you think, well, hang on, I can still do that even if I haven't got a Bradsell or a Nashwa in the corner. So when they do come, at least that baseline is still pretty high. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, the numbers are there, like you're saying. I just kind of live on the fact, well, what if one of those horses came along? Or, you know, I'm always quite, you know, positive and looking forward to, well, imagine how good it could be again, or whatever. Which
is the way you've got to look at it.
Yeah.
I thought, middle of the season, what's she talking about losing the Ibn al-Sagar job? I was struck by your... I mean, I'm sure it hurt, but I was struck by how confidently you drove through that. How did it actually feel at the time?
I suppose at the time it was a kick in the teeth, and from the outside looking in, there are only 20 horses in training, and people probably think that's not going to really impact Hollie. But yeah, at the time I probably didn't take it very well. It was, you know, like I say, a kick in the teeth, but just move on. It's racing, nothing lasts forever. It was a great opportunity, and at the time I grabbed it with both hands, and look where it got me.
Yeah, and do you think it was actually quite valuable to you beyond actually winning races like this on Nashwa? Do you think it helped profile-wise too? Did it have a good knock-on benefit?
Oh yeah, massively, really. You know, thanks to him, I rode a classic winner, a number of Group 1s.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, my profile as a jockey was good. You know, I'd had Group 1s for Archie and, you know, Royal Ascot winners, but it took me to that next level, and it let me kind of showcase what I could do given the opportunity.
And also, and it meant you were in the conversation. So when there was a conversation about big races, big race rides, you were in the conversation then.
Yeah, that's it. And you come to realise as a jockey and probably as a trainer, all that matters is winning. No one cares what's going on beneath the surface, you know, or what's going on or what you're doing. But as long as you're riding winners and riding well, that's all that matters.
And, you know, in addition to the fact that that has moved on, your main stable of Archie Watson, they've had a kind of bit what he would call a building season probably, rather than a season where the high-profile horses have come thick and fast every week.
Yeah, you could say that. I suppose it's one of those where you've had so much success for so long, it's inevitable that one day you might not have a season as good as it has been in the past, and maybe that's been the case this season. But you know, we're delighted to get to the back end of the year. We've had, you know, 6 or 7 stakes winners, and looking forward to the, you know, we've bought a few, you know, some nice yearlings, 15 already, so getting plenty of support, so roll on next year.
Yeah, definitely. And how much do you reflect on your working relationship with him and think, actually, that's something that is quite special? You know, he is a singular character, Archie. He marches to the beat of his own drum, but it's clearly quite something quite important.
Yeah, no, Archie's got his own way of doing things, and I understand that, and we get on great. And he's very loyal, and I've realised loyalty in racing is quite rare, as we all know. And thankfully, I'm associated with someone that has that asset. So for me as a jockey, is great. And you know, I know when we come across the right horse that Archie will get the best out of that.
Will a knock fire you up, or will it push you back?
No, a knock will, you know, push me to do better and be better. You know, I can't cover up the fact that, you know, I'm someone I put 100% in the whole time, and I'm very invested. And so when things aren't quite going to plan and you're giving your all, it is quite scary, because you're kind of thinking, well, what can I do here? But no, it definitely motivates me to do more.
And what do you like when the door shuts at home, if you've had a fallow spell or you're frustrated? Can you?
I have to ask Tom.
But can you? Not just him, but I mean, can you relax and take yourself away from it for a few minutes or a few hours, or not?
No, not going to lie. No, I'm always ticking, thinking, trying to find a way around something or a way forward, which, to be honest, that's probably not an asset. That's something that I wish I was better at, being able to shut the front door and switch off, but it's just the way I am.
Is he the same?
No, he's the opposite.
Oh, how infuriating.
Yes. He's very good at switching off, and he's got plenty of hobbies outside of racing, whereas I'm the opposite.
So
racing is my kind of life.
That's it. But you're happy for it to be your life?
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes where? Japan in the winter still or not? Or is he coming to Hong Kong with you?
No, Tom's going to go back to Japan, so I don't know when he's actually leaving for Japan, but I know he's going to be there until after Christmas. I think Noreen McKinnon falls after Christmas this year, so he'll be there. I'm supposed to be coming back on Christmas Eve.
Excellent. And then next year, it's all here for the time being?
Yeah, all systems go from January onwards, trying to get as many winners on the board and get going again. Yeah,
well, you're going. You just want to go. You're just wanting to find another gear.
Yeah.
Ollie, you know Hollie pretty well.
Yeah.
How would you assess her strengths, both personally and in the saddle?
I think she's very strong. I think Hong Kong would be ideal for her because she's very, she's very tactically aware. I think obviously she's very, very good jockey. Year in, year out, she's riding 100+ winners. And she's had the most amazing job there. She wouldn't be the first person to lose a job like that. I mean, trainers and jockeys alike are losing big people the whole time, and I'm sure she'll fight back. But a lot of the time, people, owners big owners are getting rid of these people because they don't quite have the horses that they had before. So it's difficult. Maybe they're not as powerful as they were before, so they're looking for something else to try and. Do you know what I mean? It's not always about the jockeys and the trainers getting things wrong.
Well, the horses can't talk, sadly, so someone's got to take the blame, I suppose. That's it.
Maybe.
Listen, we are going to launch into this week's Talking Points now, and Maddie, Hollie and Ollie are going to join us for those.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.